Hi, I'm Angela Meyer and this is Whisky Literature. I am going to drink a dram of whiskey and yabber on about books for a little while, and I hope to make this a semi-regular, casual and fun thing to add to all the things I do on the internet. So today I'm drinking Ardbeg Uigeadail, which is a delicious Islay whiskey. It's one of my favourites. I tried it at the whiskey bar that I work at, the Nant Whiskey Bar, and I recently bought myself a bottle, so feeling very good about that. It's absolutely delicious. So I'll talk about the whiskey a little bit as we go along. Let me just have a sip. Oh, God, that's good. I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of the books that I've been reading lately. I recently went to the Byron Bay Writers Festival, and I went to the launch of Deeper Water by Jessie Cole. Please forgive, this is a review copy, not the final cover. The final cover is absolutely beautiful. It's probably one of my favourite covers of the year. So this is a book about a woman who lives in a remote, very lush area of Australia. And at the beginning of the book, a car gets caught in a flood, and she rescues the man from the car. And so he's a little bit older than her, and he basically can't get out because they're flooded in, and so ends up staying with her and her family, and is this sort of catalyst, I guess, for an awakening for her. It's a very calmly written book that just very easily slips beneath your skin. One of the things that I like the most about it is the way that it depicts female desire. There's an incredible scene where I can't tell you too much about it, but basically she is at one with nature in this scene. You'll have to read it to find out more. Bacon. Trees. It's like rubber. Honey and those honey and ham kettle chips. Really long finish. I like this conversation that Mima, the main character, has with Hamish, the guy that was in the car, because obviously he's lost everything that was in the car, his laptop, his phone and everything, and he's got this panic, as most of us would understand, but he's like, I've got to keep up with the world outside, I've got to stay informed. I like to stay informed. And she says, she thinks about being informed, and she says, but does it change the way you live? Anyway, she's trying to work out what he means by being informed, and it's just really interesting to get this different perspective of someone who's basically living off the grid. The landscape becomes, it's a bit of a cliche to say that these days, isn't it? The landscape is the character in itself, but it really is in this book, because of the way sometimes, like the creek and the trees, the way that it envelops her and is a part of her. The story builds and leads to quite a lot of drama, and it's a compelling read. It's quite hard to put down. You want to know how Mima's going to turn out and the place that she lives in. The Empress Lover by Linda Jaivin, a very different book to Jessie Cole. I think Linda is just an amazing person. I've met her quite a few times, and I've been quite fascinated by China for a while, so that's another reason that I wanted to read this, and it didn't disappoint at all. It's complex, it's clever. The Empress Lover is a kind of slipstream, time, dreams, sex, death, all woven together. A woman is finally given the key to her past, as China's multi-layered present and past is revealed to the reader. At the heart of it, protest, art, connection, and connections through blood, through skin, or through the layers of reality and unreality. So the dreaming in the book, and a hint at kind of supernatural elements. all of these connections as protest and as art. The Empress Lover also explores, as I said, the complexities of contemporary China, its charms and its foibles. And it's a novel that engages all of the senses and the intellect. I think whiskey engages the intellect. Tampa. So this is a book which you might have heard of, which is about a female predator. She is attracted to adolescent boys, and of course it's a bit of a difficult read at times. We really get inside her head and experience everything from her perspective, so it's a little bit like Lolita with Humbert Humbert. It's subversive, and I think it is an important book because it's not often that we have these kind of sociopathic female characters, or female characters with aberrant sexual desires, or perhaps not in mainstream literature, maybe in genre. And I think that it's relevant to another book that I'm reading, which is Tara Moss's The Fictional Woman, because Tampa is smashing some of the female archetypes. It's a different kind of female character than you would regularly see. And it's also, I think that it's important to have a massive kind of range of female characters, because all of these depictions help for everyone to see women as just as well-rounded individuals as men. Often we see women as desired, but not necessarily as desiring, or we see them as desiring, as something, the stereotype, desiring shoes, but perhaps not desiring as complexly or rampantly as we see men desiring. So, yeah. And I've just started reading Foreign Soil by Maxine Beneba Clarke, a book of short stories, and I just read the first story, which is called David. At the centre of it is a bicycle, which becomes a sort of symbol for an independence, and for the other character it triggers memory. It triggers a memory, and it's a really beautiful, moving story. I'm really looking forward to reading the rest of the book. I'm just going to put this in here at some point. So this has been Whisky Literature, a very brief discussion of a few books while I consume a delicious single malt whiskey from Islay. Next time, I don't know, there will be a different whiskey and a different set of books. And perhaps I will be on locale at a whiskey bar or a writers' festival. Sometimes I might have special guests, like my partner Jared. What are you reading at the moment, Jared?
Books.
How about you, Sniff? Until then. Salt. Dram?
That smells so good.
Not very articulate. No, that's not right.